the 30-year-old that's going to get those shoulders and elbows problems, but they're achy. And then the 50-year-old that's got bad knees and bad back, but they still function.
It's not even competition against somebody else. It's competition of how Mike O'Hearn can look at 52 compared to how Mike O'Hearn looked at 42 and 32 and 22. That's the competition, because there's no reason in the world that you couldn't do it. It's not that hard. It really isn't as hard as some people make it out.
So yesterday I saw somebody who is a IFBB pro who at this stage of his career is now paralyzed from the waist down. But he still gets up and he still does things. And it's the struggle of not being able to use his legs anymore, but still gets up and trains. So can you, to these guys that are at home, that keep asking me over and over again, I'd like them to get your point of view on this, is how does a person whose legs work, shoulders work as of right now, it might be youngster, so there's no shoulder problems or elbow problems or anything like that, or the 30-year-old that's going to get those shoulders and elbows problems, but they're achy, and then the 50-year-old that's got bad knees and bad back, but they still function, relative to the guy that absolutely does not function at all. Can you give them some kind of point of view on how to get out of bed in the morning and stay on the nutrition plan and the training? That's the only thing that's going to help them. I don't want to lead more into that.
Right. So today's your check-in day for your Titans, right? And from what I understand, some of your frustration as their coach, who's attempting to help them do the things that they came here asking help for, you get frustrated with the fact that these people are able-bodied. They don't have any limitations other than their own stuff they put in front of themselves. You're like, what's the problem? Because I just was with a guy yesterday who I watched walk around years ago, who's no longer able to walk around, yet he still gets up and puts in the work that he can put in. Is that basically what you're saying? It's there. There's the answer too. You know what I mean? It's right there. People really need to understand how blessed we are to have a functioning body that is capable of pretty much anything within reason, but we don't utilize it to the extent to which we could if we understood how quickly that could be taken away from us. Like,
weren't you just a new kid on the block, getting the covers, the TV show, you know, your own workout show? Weren't you just in your 20s?
Yep.
And now you're 57.
Yep, just like that. Like, I'm looking at Titan running around here. We just watched a video of my grown son, and I'm thinking in your life how quickly that's going to happen when you're watching Titan. You know, so the reality is, if you're checking in today, if you're doing my program, and you're making excuses as to why you didn't do as best as you could last week, and you're here today in check-ins, you're going, well, you know, I got, stop, shut up, man. Seriously. That's an excuse. It's BS. I said it on the news the other day. This guy started saying, Clark, well, you know, I couldn't find your program. I'm like, bro, 10,000 other men somehow found it. I don't know why you're the only one that couldn't. You know what I mean? So if you didn't find time to get your cardio in, if you ate a hamburger bun when you weren't supposed to, it's not his fault. It's not my fault. It's your fault. And it's your fault because you made an excuse, because there's no reason in the world that you couldn't do it. It's not that hard. It really isn't as hard as some people make it out to be. That's the truth, man. And the older I get, and the more I realize how freaking fragile life is, the less I can put up with people's bullshit excuses.
Okay, with that being said, thank you. That was kind of like I guess a military way to say it, because you just said, do it or don't do it. And I do the same thing. And like when somebody will go, so where's your link? Okay, I'm not even going to work with you because you're too idiotic. Everybody else can find the link, and you're the one person that's asking for it. If you can't find the link, I don't want to be your trainer. I mean, there's so much more. It's going to get harder than just finding the link. And that's just a metaphor for you guys that don't understand. That's just a metaphor. If it's the baby step to start this whole thing is a problem, you're not going to be able to do the program. So I don't want to deal with you. And so that goes to the next thing of I just want to last. So I saw this incredible comedian, and I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. But it works in my life because of the fact that he goes, you ever meet these people and they go, I just want to last. Or they bring up, oh, my father lived till he was 90 years old, smoked cigarettes, ate bacon every single day. What a riot he must have been. And it was so funny how the comedian said it, because it's the same way that you and I believe. We don't want to just last. We want to be at the pinnacle of a human through our lives and being able to. I just watched a video of this guy, and it was an emotional, cool video. But it showed him also out there tussling and running the field and playing football and stuff. And I was like, that's how a 60-year-old guy should be. So for me, that's not lasting. That's being what is capable for all of us. And I want to make this clear. All of you 20 or 30-year-olds can be 10 times better than both of us. We tell you every secret, or not every secret, but every mistake we made when we were growing up. Like, we trained too hard at this point. Every day was too much, where we could have been just a percentage of that and lasted longer. So if you go back to our earlier stuff, so in the aspect of lasting, the mentality, can you, and I don't know if you can even say this, it's to somebody that wants to just last, I don't think you can teach them anything. So let's talk to the other people, the people that don't want to last, but maybe they think that's what life's about. You follow me?
Oh, yeah.
So there's people that just want to last. I just want to be alive. So I don't care that I eat bad and all this and that. I'll still make up my cardio and think that that's healthy, which is weird. But what about the people that don't know that they can still look like this in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s? Or the 20-year-olds can do this a different way than their friends are doing it?
Well, I asked the question in that video we watched. I said, do you want to live a vital life? Like, there's a difference between lasting, okay, I'm going to be 95 or whatever, but do you want to live a life of vitality? And a life of vitality is whatever it is that brings you fulfillment and enjoyment. Let me give you an example of how that looks in real time with these two people you see sitting in front of you right now. The other day, I hit Mike on WhatsApp. He doesn't answer. He hits me back. He's doing his cardio on a Saturday morning early before anyone's up. I'm on the football field before anyone's up. I'm out there throwing a ball. He's doing his cardio. And I said, you want to know something that is really interesting about this? We're out here alone. Like, there was nobody else. I mean, it's at a big, giant field. I'm all by myself throwing a freaking football, running and chasing it. He asked me, why didn't you get 5 balls? I said, because I want to run and go get it. He's like, I can't argue that.
So let me just make that clear again. So I'm seeing this guy throw one football 30 yards, runs down, gets the football, and runs back. And I'm saying, okay, that just seems like a lot of freaking running. As I'm doing cardio, I'm the guy saying, let's make this easier. I said, why don't you have 5 balls? And he's like, no. Throw the 1 ball, run down, get it, come back, throw the 1 ball. And I'm like, well, that's freaking pretty smart. Because then he gets his workout in at the same time.
And I'm living a vital life. I'm enjoying myself. Like, that brings me fulfillment and enjoyment. And regardless of what anyone else might think about it, it doesn't matter. So the question you need to ask yourself is, what brings you joy? Like, what is fulfilling in your life? What makes you vital? What wakes you up in the morning? You know what wakes me up in the morning? You know what wakes him up in the morning? Is competition. It's not even competition against somebody else. It's competition of how Mike O'Hearn can look at 52 compared to how Mike O'Hearn looked at 42 and 32 and 22. That's the competition. And then there's the other stuff as well. That freaking makes the cells in my body come alive. So the other day, I challenged someone.
Before you keep going,
okay.
Which is funny because you just said competition about myself. Again, I'm going to go back to the part of where there's people that just want to last. Good for you. I don't want to be around you. And then there's people that don't know it's not about just lasting. It's about getting better or fighting to get better at least. at least be in the fight. My God, it's one life. But beyond that, he said something about the competition, which I think you guys will think I'm an idiot for thinking that I won the universe. Wow. Last time I won it was 23 years ago, two decades ago, over 2 decades ago. If you don't think I can get in better shape than that, or I'm not going to fight to get in better shape than when I won the universe over 2 decades ago, you're crazy. Now you may think, well, you can't. I don't know that.
Let me
I'm
cut
going
you
to
off
try
real
to.
quick based on these comments, man.
Go.
Here's the difference between people. And here's the difference between people who make it in life and are vital and the people who are just freaking treading water. One guy said, I want to go effing work out now. Good for you. The other guy says, Diana Ball, question mark. That's the difference between people right there, is this. Like the choice people make to either be someone who lives up here or someone who lives down here.
Well, the one guy that says, freak it, I'm pumped up. Thank you. I'll talk about the show yesterday, but the one guy that says, I want to go work out now, that's a fighter. That guy's successful. I bet that guy comes home and he's like,
go.
I'm fired up. Where the other guy that goes Deca thinks, well, see, I don't even have to go work out because I'm going to say that you guys must do something. So I don't even have to do it because unless I do that, then I don't have to do this and then I'll have to do this. For that guy, he's not going to accomplish anything. That guy's already looking for an excuse. So I love that aspect of those two people watching the same thing,
Yep.
completely different mindset. And again, I'm hanging out with the guy that says, frig it, I want to go fight, compared to the other guy that just kind of, let me just rattle off a whole bunch of things so I don't have to go do anything.
Yeah, well, which guy do you want in your foxhole? Just like my guy said.
Yeah.
I want that guy in my foxhole because he gets fired up and the cells in his body start to freaking get all wild. This is what happens when you get inspired and you get encouraged. The cells in your human body begin to vibrate at a level that starts getting so excitable, you can't help but get up and go out and do something. Then there are the people that absolutely suppress that by their mindset. They're like, no, they hold it down because the reality is the human body wants to get to that level. But with our conditioned behavior, we just throttle it down and then we live this life. And then that's when all of the negative stuff starts happening. We start gaining weight, we start having joint pain, we start having fibromyalgia, we start getting depressed, we start doing all of these sorts of things, man. You know, your body wants to be vital. It really does. And we can cause it not to be just by a choice.
Do you guys think the same thing? Every time he says vital, I just think of fucking. I'm sorry.
Hey,
but that is vital, you know. That is part of it. But that being said, the thing I did yesterday was I was judging the show, and I got so motivated while watching the show. So much happened. But there's one kid that I gave 3rd place to. And as the night show came around, I'm sitting there debating with the other judges, and I'm sitting there going, I like him in 3rd. And my choice is to keep him in 3rd is to make him work harder because he was the most gifted, potential.
Wow.
This is a smaller show. This kid could be the best guy in California. Right now, he's not there yet, but genetically gifted, and his work ethic and everything right now is he could be so much better. And I'm sitting there trying to be a parent as I'm judging this.
That's called tough love right there.
And I'm sitting there going, I don't want to give him 2nd, even though it could go either way, because if he gets 3rd, he'll work even harder. And so at the end of the discussion, we're all sitting there going, okay, you know what? He's definitely got 2nd today. And I made a point after the show, everybody's coming up to me going, hey, Judge, can I talk to you? What do I need to work on? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? And this kid came up to me, and I said, I'm going to tell you something. I had you in 3rd today, and I had you in 3rd for 2 different reasons. One is it could have gone either way, you and the other kid's structure. But I wanted to, and I'm glad I gave him 2nd and then spoke to him and said, in 3rd, it would have pissed you off even more to fight even harder because you have every gift in the world. And I said it to him and his coach there, and I said, listen, this show is just a small show. Even if you win the show, it doesn't make a big difference in your life. You're going to go on to win bigger shows. But it's the understanding right now, by not winning and keep working your ass off, that you have every gift in the world, and the only person that's going to blow it for you is you.